one chick come in there. We called her Pinky. So she was short. She was light skinned. I could never tell if she was black or not. I didn't know what she was. She looked like she had a little native. She kind of looked like a Mexican a little bit, but I wasn't exactly sure. And to be quite frank, I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really, I thought she was black. I didn't know, but I used to look at her, and I steady be looking at her like, man, what is she? You know what I'm saying? Like, not what is she, like she a person, but I mean, I was like, man, what is she? Because she'd have this little long stringy hair and stuff like that, and she was kind of short and thick, and I said, man, I think she a sister, but I couldn't never tell. But she looked like she's something. So she's coming in there. We get to talking. She buys a fit. She's talking, and eventually, she's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You should call me sometime or whatever. She went and bought a pink fit, and then she came back in the store and she said, you see, I got dressed up for you, and I'm like,
I got dressed for you, DP, when you taking me out.
You walking in here like that, you might have just made up my mind.
Better gas this thing up then.
Say less.
Oh, okay. So that day she felt real good about herself. I think she was a little younger or whatever, but I'm 25, whatever. She was of age. I don't know how old she was, but I know she wasn't old. You know what I'm saying? She was of age. She was, so, and a lot of times, like, I remember coming up where women would tell you, like, it's rude to ask a woman her age. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you may not know. I mean, that she's of age. She's legal. But, sometimes some women, they don't want you asking their age. I learned that young. Don't be, some younger girls, older women don't like that. But, like, some younger girls, they don't care. But some women just don't like it. Don't ask how old I am. I'm old enough. So that would be, now, if I think they was young, if I thought that they was younger, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes what I would do, I say, I wonder, should I just go down Larpenter? I done already turned, man. Was it 4 o'clock? Let me see if I can. Man. I really don't even want to go down Snelling. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I'd rather just go down Larpenter. I should have took Larpenter, man. Damn. I could still get back on it. I want to take Larpenter all the way. So, I guess she wanted to get dressed. She went and bought that fit. And they were like little cheap fits, you know what I'm saying? But, a fit's a fit. And she went home and put it on, probably jumped in the shower, whatever the case may be, and, and came back, and she was happy about her fit. Like, she was like, man, I went and put this on for you. So, where we going? It took me, I'm in the middle of a work day, you know what I'm saying? But it's my business, it's my we entrepreneurs. So, she said, come outside, And so what she does is she kind of grabs my hand to like twirl her around. Like, I'm trying to show you what I'm working with. And I'm like, because I didn't really pay too much mind to her. But then when she put them clothes on like that, I'm like, all right. So I'm like, okay, I can work with that.
I got dressed for you, DP, when you taking me out.
You walking in here like that, you might have just made up my mind.
Better gas this thing up then.
Say less.
So her brother or cousin, women always, my cousin, my brother, whatever. So this dude, he used to buy CDs and stuff like that. This cat, where y'all going? You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's supposed to, I don't know if that was her brothers. They don't look like kin at all. But maybe they just say, some people women say that shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he was like kind of concerned, like on some big brother kind of stuff. Cause he was one of the dudes that was hustling on the block or whatever like that. They was hustling around. There was a lot of hustlers around on 34th and 34th and Minnehaha. A lot of hustling going on around there. A lot of hustling going on. So he's asking her, hey, where you going? And I said, we'll be right back. And he just kind of looked like, it was no disrespect or whatever. Like, it was respectful. But I'm like, hey, we'll be right back, bro. She in good hands, bro. I ain't gonna let nothing happen to her. He said,
You made good time.
Traffic was kind today.
You ready? Let's roll.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe they had some kind of relation, because some women be lying. Oh, that's my brother, and some nigga be pounding her out or whatever. I don't think it was that situation, but you know, like I say, I mean, but he was a lot older than her too. So, but he was the one, you could tell he was the dude that kind of ran the block. He ran his clique, because they had a clique. They had some dudes, you know, and I guess he was kind of running it. He was kind of running the block and kind of, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes there would be discrepancies over there, man, where dudes then got into little shootouts, not so much as scuffles, because that wasn't the thing they do no more. But anyway, back to the program. We sitting up, we riding around. At this time, I didn't have my 83 LeSabre. I had my Oldsmobile Regency because I had got a settlement. So this was kind of around, this had to have been mid-09. We opened the store March 09. So this had to have been kind of mid-09 or something like that. Because remember, I had bought a few cars during that time. The first car I had, remember, I had my two-door LeSabre. That got crashed. And my homie Jay sold me a janky-ass car. Not janky on his part. It's a piece of shit car. The Dodge Stratus or whatever. It was a horrible car. The Chryslers, Dodge Stratus or whatever. Those are terrible electrical problems with those cars. But I knew that. So he's like, man, Joe, you know, I got shit. I'll sell you this for $900. I just wanted some wheels. That thing be cutting off all the time. Sensor problems. I sold that shit for like $1,100. I told him, I said, it's a piece of garbage. We both knew it was garbage. It wasn't no good car. But I had some money. I bought it. I resold it like 2-3 weeks later. And I ended up getting a blue Regency. Man, that was a slick car. That was a slick car, Jack. It was a blue Oldsmobile Delta 88. But remember, I told you I was on 35W going to meet with a lawyer, and the whole subframe fell and the engine fell down. So that's when dude gave me the 94 LeSabre with all the rust. You see what I'm saying? So I rolled that for a little bit, sold it to the Northside chick, which y'all gonna see that story in a minute. So I'm gonna release that story in a minute. Sold it to the Northside chick. Matter of fact, we're gonna take the long way. Yeah, we're gonna take the long way, Jack. Sold it to the Northside chick, and then I went, because I had a car already when I sold it to her. I went and bought another car. You know what I'm saying? Once I got like another settlement, I got some money or something like that happened. And so I bought the Oldsmobile Regency out there.
2200, like we agreed.
It looks good to me. She's all yours.
Appreciate it.
Keys, titles in the glove box.
Bet. Let's see what she can do. Smooth. Bloomington to anywhere. Let's go.
I bought that. When did I buy that car? I bought that. It had to have been in 08. Or not 08. It had to have been in like later 09. Or so around that time, maybe. Because remember that story I told y'all about my two-door LeSabre and the Cougar and stuff like that? That's going to drop too soon. That's going to be like my mini movies where I do like my little directed by DPs. So that movie, or not that movie, that car with the Oldsmobile Regency that had the leather seats and all that kind of stuff, like it was a big like Brougham Regency, the 98. They called it a 98. It wasn't a Delta 88. It was bigger than that. It was almost like the Cadillac of the Oldsmobile Delta 88s. When I bought that, that's what we jumped up into. So we ride and we talking and you know, she's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what he's doing. Come on, man. He did all that just to. So we riding and we talking. And she's just like, how long you been hustling? How long you been doing this or whatever? I said, well, you know, I used to be on the block selling CDs and stuff like that.
So how long you been hustling like this, DP?
Since I was like 17, selling beats out the basement, trading sessions for gas money. It just kept growing.
And now you got a whole album.
Yeah, and
we just talking and riding, and we just riding all around. We riding down Hiawatha. She just turn here, turn there, turn here. She's just giving me directions on where to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, it's your world. We riding. And we talking about the Twister album. You know, so I'm playing that. You got to put that do or die, that twist on.
Can you be my daddy?
You know what I'm saying? So she's kind of she's getting a little about herself, like, you know what to play. She says, so she, she's kind of liking me and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And we just ride and we just talking, and then
I used to sell CDs on the block. Didn't want to sell dope, so it took me longer.
For real? That's kind of dope in itself, though. You stuck to what you wanted.
Yeah, it took a minute, but it worked out.
I'm impressed you got your own place at 25.
she's like, man, I need to make a stop at the crib. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect to see. She wasn't like real loud and ratchet or nothing like that, but she was, a little bit. But I expected to see. I expected to see her growing up in just, I didn't know where she stayed at. I know she stayed over south, but I didn't expect. So we pulled up a couple blocks off of 38th and Hiawatha, or kind of like, excuse me. And she's like, I got to stop by the house real quick or something like that. So I'm kind of trying to figure it out. Like, so she brings me in the house. So maybe that might have been her way to, because we weren't talking a long time. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like kindred spirit or whatever. Like, she was kind of bringing me into her world really fast. So I wasn't expecting it.
You really never been over here?
Southside? Nah, you talk about it like it's a whole nother city.
Kinda is.
All right, Hiawatha it is.
That's her spot.
Your mom?
Mm-hmm. Hi, Mama.
Wait, she's white?
Meet her people. And I pull on the block, and it's a pretty decent house. So we walking in. I meet her mama white. So I was really confused then. I was super duper confused then. I really didn't know what to think of. I was like, so I didn't ask her. I'm like, well, what you make? So I think her mama was white. I think her dad was an Indian. I think her dad, because she was real high yellow. Like, she was real. She could have passed to be, if she would have said, yeah, my daddy black, she could have passed. But I don't think her daddy was black. Maybe her daddy was. I don't know. We didn't get into all that. But I just remember her dad. I don't even know if her stepdad was there. I don't know. But her mama, she seemed like she came from a pretty decent family. So I was, I guess I was trying to figure out the dynamic of her crowd. She hung out with, like, she hung out with but another reason I could tell that because she was talking about one time she wanted me to come to the bar. So I think she was native, but she wanted me to come to the bar, and I didn't go to the bar that night or whatever. I probably should have went, but I think I must have called her the next day. She came back to the shop or whatever and says, hey, you didn't come to the bar the other night or whatever like that. So, I wasn't, I don't know why I didn't go, but for whatever reason I didn't go. And, excuse me, I'm sorry. And so I didn't go. But I think something happened to where, I don't know what happened, but something kind of happened to where, because I was like, I kind of dig her, but at the same time, I wasn't really trying to tie myself down, but I was digging everything about it. I was digging everything in my life. Everything was a dig. It was straight graveyard shovel time. Everything in my life felt fun. It felt cool. I wasn't stressing and whining and complaining. And man, everything in my life seemed like, even though I didn't have $1 in my name sometimes I had a lot of money. Some days I didn't have nothing. There was days where it was noodles, and then there was days where I was just peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then there was days where it was steak and shrimp scampi. It would be up and down. It could be Monday. It could be Tuesday. It could be Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So we were living in a financially turbulent time in terms of us just being young. Now I do got a little mini story right here about Larpenteur. This looked like the place. Yeah, I think this is it. This is another place in St. Paul. But I was gonna get an apartment right here. That might be a story. If y'all want to bring that up, I'll tell it. If y'all want to bring it up, like I said, I ain't holding no damn punches. I'm gonna tell you because I remember that story keenly, right there, right where I passed up. But if you want that story, just put Larpenteur in the comments in the chat. Put Larpenteur. Put the Larpenteur story. Larpenteur story with the little young chick from Chicago. I'm gonna get that to y'all. Now, I think that was when I had my LeSabre too. I'm not sure. I was in some. I might have been in my Brougham because, you know, every car got a story. So I think one day she came on. I think the next day or something like that. I think she wore the outfit again, and I think that threw me off. And I'm talking to my homies. I'm like, damn, bro, she done wore it again. Like, was she just all night? And I could tell she probably was drinking. I didn't know what it was, but I think sometime later on, I seen her, she was pregnant. And I was kind of like, okay, that might have been a bullet dodge. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell whoever knocked her up, he wasn't really about too much. So, you know, it just kind of told me that maybe she didn't have really, you know, it looked like she came up in a decent family. They were in a decent home, man. It wasn't like she wasn't living off of Franklin. You know what I'm saying? It was a decent, ain't really no decent homes over there. Let's keep honest. You got to go to Portland to get a little better. Hey, Franklin ain't really got no nice homes, bro. So that's what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? We kind of just, you know, and I just move on. There was and it wasn't like it was, you know, nothing happened. We just, like I say, the extent of our kicking it was talking in the shop and then just riding in my car. So that's how that story goes or whatever. But I wanted to do that because I had the video I had of what we call Pinky look completely different. And I'm going to post that too. It looked completely different than the videos that I'm going to show y'all. The videos I'm going to show y'all, she looks a little better, but she was more high yellow than that. She didn't look real black. So I'm just giving y'all what Brother Chat opened up. So the next story is going to be I got my little list here. I think the next story, still coming down the county road. The next story is going to be, let's see. Beast Brody. I'm going to give y'all that one, man. This next one, man, is insane. Y'all going to be like, man, where you come up with man, I didn't make this up, bro.